with cinema.
Welcome back to War with Cinema. I am your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up?
Alright, and it's my turn to pick a movie.
Yeah, it is Greg's pick. What did you pick, Greg?
I picked Nothing, 2003, by...
Who gives a shit?
Vincent Natali.
Vincent Natali, that's right.
He is the director of Cube, which is one of, I know I say
That's the only reason you had me watch this shit.
It kind of is. The Cube is one of my top 10 favorite movies. I love that movie so much.
You do love the Cube.
For so many reasons. So whenever I watched Cube, I went back and watched all of this director's filmography because I liked his style so much.
Uh-huh.
And I came across this movie, Nothing.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I like this movie. But the reason this is on the list is because you said you wanted more comedies.
Yeah.
But you have seen almost every comedy that is out there, and it's hard for me to find something that you haven't seen.
That's guilty. Yeah. I've
So,
seen a lot.
So I just tried to pick something that I had that I enjoyed. I thought you might... I didn't think you would hate this movie, but, figured it'd be a fun little movie to talk about and watch. But, so tell me how you feel.
Where to begin? So much hate, so little time.
So much hate?
I just have to throw this out there. I know we throw stats at the beginning, man, and I got to tell you, I've been holding this shit in for a week now.
I know.
Because I said I'm not going to tell you until we record this, and here we are. You ready to know how much money it cost to make this movie?
How much did it make?
$4 million is what it cost to make this movie.
I really thought it was going to be a lot more than that.
More?
Yeah.
You thought it would be more?
Yeah, because the way
I've seen Reebok commercials with more production than this shit. Are you kidding me? $4 million for two dudes on a fucking green screen? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that is a little much.
That blew my fucking mind all over the back wall, dude.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. $4 million for what? Did they just have cookers and blow on the set?
This had a decent amount of production value. It wasn't as a super low budget film.
I don't know, man. Maybe because it was made in 2003. Me and you could make this movie for 10 grand in the backyard right now.
I don't think so. I think this is a really well done movie. So anyway,
maybe before the green screen. I don't know, man.
Well, let's tell people what the movie's about.
Yeah, tell them what it's about.
The movie synopsis is: after a terrible day, two good friends and a housemate.
They did have a terrible day, I'll give them that.
Find the outside world converted into a featureless and empty white void.
Yeah.
That's a very vague...
Well, they kind of wished it.
Yeah. Well, hate.
Well, yeah, hated it. Yeah, hated it into existence.
So let's give a less vague about this movie. So these two guys are best friends. They've been best friends since they were, 9 years old?
Yeah, young.
And they're grown-ups now. One is agoraphobic.
Yeah, he can't go outside. He can't talk to people.
Yeah, and the other one's a narcissist.
Yep. And
they live together in this house that is owned by the agoraphobic.
Yeah.
And they have a really bad day. What's the character's name real quick? I keep forgetting him.
It's Dale and...
Dave and Andrew. Okay. I'm terrible with names.
Dale. Yeah, Dave and Andrew.
Yeah, Dave and Andrew have a really bad day.
Yeah.
One of them...
The guy the agoraphobic gets it the worst, though, in my opinion, because there's nothing worse than being accused of being a pedophile.
Yeah.
And you're not a pedophile. Now, if you're a pedophile, you deserve that shit. But if you're not, that's
if you get accused and you're not a pedophile, that's terrible.
You can't come back from that shit.
Yeah. So what happens to Andrew is he gets locked outside of his house.
Yep.
And he's approached by a Girl Scout.
You want some cookies?
Yep. Yeah. And she notices that he's locked out of his house. She crawls through his basement and unlocks the door for him, lets him inside his house, and she wants to help him to get more badges or whatever.
Right.
And he's really freaked out because he doesn't like people. He doesn't like being outside. Yeah. So he basically tells her to get the fuck out without, cussing at her. But
please, thank you for letting me in, but please can you go?
Yeah. So this upsets the little girl so much that he will not let her help him. She tells her mother that he tried to kiss her
or whatever.
Yeah, he tried to kiss her and accuses him of being a pedophile and calls the police and whatever. And in the meantime, Dave is going to work. he steps in a tar pit on his way to work.
Yeah.
And when he gets to work, his coworkers have strung his his work chair, to the ceiling with a bunch of wires that are just hanging from the roof, which is a really interesting
that was
visual.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was pretty funny.
That's probably the only funny part. It was funny.
And as he's getting his desk back in order, one of his coworkers tells him that his boss wants to have a meeting with him.
Yeah, he thinks he's getting a promotion.
Yeah, he's like, it's about the promotion. It's really excited.
It's about time they gave me one around here.
Well, apparently they are accusing him of embezzling money from their work.
Company,
Yeah, the company.
What are you talking about? I've never done that.
Yeah, like...
He did, like 30 grand or something like that?
Like 27,000. Like, they give an exact number down to the cent, which is pretty amusing. How do they even know that?
Right. Because it's their money getting stolen.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, he gets fired because of that.
And he's about to get arrested. They say, we got criminal charges pressed against you.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes to his girlfriend's house.
Well, the one thing that happened that you didn't say was the fact that he tells his friend he's moving out at the very beginning.
Oh, did he?
Because he gets a girlfriend and he's moving out.
Oh, I thought that was... Oh, right, that was before that. I was
like, I didn't tell you I was moving out? He's like, no, you didn't tell me you were moving out. He's like, oh, well, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens. And then, so he goes to his girl's house thinking like, oh, she's going to support me and we're going to figure this out together. And then she tells him that she's the one that stole the fucking money and that she's leaving the country or some shit.
Yeah, she's like, you're kind of a piece of shit and I just used you to embezzle all this money.
Which, by the way, movie would have been over for me because that chick would have got it right then and there. Like, you stole 30 grand and I'm going to jail for this shit? Oh, yeah, you're getting an ass whooping at the least.
Yeah, I'm not into...
I'm not into beating women, but dude, like,
there comes a
your
point.
freedom? Like, yeah. I would have went to jail either way, but I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up situation. I probably would have been right there with you.
This is the only compliment from you can check me for the rest of this episode. This is the only compliment I am going to give this movie. I liked the setup. If they would have went anywhere in the realm of possibility that my mind had when I watched the first two of their intros to this movie, like the setup.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? This may not be that bad. You know, one dude, I mean, because he steps in it with one foot on the way to work and then his other foot in the same pile of shit.
Yeah.
On the other foot.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. Like, I thought that was funny. But when they, like you said, when they have the terrible day and the cops are there and the demolition crew, right?
Well, the thing is their house is in the middle of a
highway,
interstate. Yeah. And so they go to sell their house. They're like, we're going to sell our house and move across the world. Mm-hmm. And so they put their house up for sale, but then their house wasn't even recognized.
Yeah, because like everything else, it got torn down, and because it was a interstate now.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, this isn't supposed to be here, so we're just going to tear it down.
Exist, yeah. Which is true. Like, I could definitely see a city doing that shit to anybody. Oh yeah, this got rezoned. This is wasteland now. Mm-hmm. We're kicking you out.
So yeah, they're inside their house. They're panicking after a bad, shitty day, and the cops bust into their house because of the pedophilia and the embezzling and
right.
Shit's going crazy, and then everything goes away.
Yeah, they're about to go eat a cock meat sandwich when poof.
Yep, everything goes away, and it's just their house, them, their turtle, in a white abyss.
White abyss.
Yeah. And this is
spongy floors.
Mm-hmm, this is where the movie takes off. Begins.
Takes off.
Yeah. So this is the part.
Crashes.
This is the part you didn't like about this movie. Like, tell me more about why you don't like it. What you don't like about it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, they said that, like you told me that these guys, the part of the reason they wanted to make this movie was to do it all on in front of just a stage, like, with no scenery, none. But I felt like the house was a good enough setting that if they would have never left the house, it would have been good enough for me. Like, if something would have happened around them that they couldn't leave the house, that would have made a better movie than what I saw. Like,
well, it's the director's choice because he did Cube first,
right?
And they told him he couldn't shoot a movie in one
That's
room.
what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he did it, and he made a really great film about it. He's like, well, I did it once, I can try to do it again. You know. So that's basically this movie is
Cube should have got an Oscar over this shit.
The reason I like this movie is because the director is putting restraints on himself and then trying to make a good film out of it. And I mean, it's not for everyone. After rewatching this
Right.
movie, I understand why you don't like it, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. I personally enjoy this movie. I don't love it. Like, it's not my favorite
That's something
movie.
I really wanted to get your opinion on, man. Like, what makes you love this movie?
It's the style, mostly. That's like mostly what I like about it. It's just the
Just
style.
the randomness of it? Or...
Okay. The banter between the two, I think, is really fun. I think these are great actors.
I feel like our banter is more entertaining than these two assholes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed their banter. I enjoyed the slapstickiness of it.
Yeah.
And he does a montage. Whenever they're leaving the house, they're trying to find if there's anything else out there. So they do like a breadcrumb trail, but with the stuff that they
He's
have.
eating all the food.
Yeah, they got one guy's eating all the food while the other guy's like, I'm so hungry, but he's taking out of his backpack.
We can't eat yet. He's eating all the time. Yeah.
But they do the montage where they're leaving the stuff on the ground so they can trace back to the house. And it's like a montage, and it's like a very artistic montage, and I really enjoyed it.
Right.
I like the way he did it, until they like don't even have any clothes on. Basically, they have like bare minimum.
Right.
And the funny thing about that is, after they're done, they somehow get bounced around and lose their place.
Yeah, they find, because that's when they start playing around with the fact that they can bounce or whatever. And he throws something, because they start losing their shit about halfway out there when they run out of stuff and they're just walking, and they know that they're not coming up on nothing. Then they start getting a little loopy. And I think he throws the recorder or some shit.
Oh, right. Yeah, he does throw the recorder because he's like recording their journey away from the house.
Some shit like that, yeah.
So they start bouncing around, fighting, and then they lose their breadcrumb trail.
Yep.
And so they're in the middle of nowhere trying to and I just thought that was a really, he took so much time setting up the breadcrumb trail and then does nothing with it. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, they ended up finding it again.
Yeah, it was like the house is in the distance. They think it's someone else's house, so they sneak up on it.
Yeah, that was probably it was mildly amusing. They're like talking about like, what if somebody came in while we were gone? Which they were the only ones there.
And then he does the thing where don't fall asleep because they're so tired, because I guess they had such a long journey. And they're going to go check out the house. And he's like, keep a lookout. Don't fall asleep while I go and check this out.
Right.
And it's this whole dream sequence that, I thought was pretty amusing.
They're going to kill each other.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go into the house and kill each other. And it's stuff like that. It's just very artistic and it's just silly, I guess.
Well, you enjoyed it. I'd be interested to know how many people did enjoy it.
There's actually quite a few people. Like, if you enjoyed Cube and you looked at this director's filmography, you probably enjoyed this movie.
I actually wrote that down because that was another one. Because I told you it cost $4 million to make. I wanted to tell you how much it made theatrically.
Well, it's in like one of those like indie films.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to that. Notes on nothing. There we go. Man. This movie grossed $63,180, which is what the fucking budget could have been for this thing. Yeah, it cost $4 million to make. It made $63,000 and some change.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
And you said that it was an indie movie, and you said that it won awards. So I looked that up too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it won an award for video editing.
Yep.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, because it had great editing.
They have awards for that.
It had great editing in it. Don't you agree?
I guess. I don't pay attention to that shit.
I'm
usually paying attention to the plot or like caring about the characters, if they live or if anything's happening.
I think that's where we differ on movies. Is I really enjoyed the style, the artistic direction the director took making this movie.
Right.
Like, it didn't have much, character development. It didn't really have much of a plot. But after rewatching this, I think he wanted to have a little bit of a plot in this movie.
Right.
So they're in this nothing, and how they get to this nothing is they keep hating things away. They realize if they hate something away, it disappears.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. Like, if you say that they were going for a comedic edge, the agoraphobic was repressing that he hates away, that's that's a fucking horror movie in itself.
Well,
right
that's
there,
why I said it was a dark comedy. It has like dark elements to it.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
But that's what I was gonna say is they start hating away parts of their personality, like or past experiences rather.
Yeah, and the agoraphobic turns into kind of a nut job.
Yeah, and
like a serial killer
I think
type of
that's
deal.
what he was trying to like originally was gonna go for, like these people
Right.
hating themselves away until there's nothing left. Like you're not a person anymore,
Right.
and because your past experiences make up who you are.
Yeah, that was I put that in there. I like that idea, like parts of their memory, parts of this, parts of the about them, and they hate so much they hate it out of existence. That's cool. Until they're nothing but heads, Greg. Why are they heads, Greg? How can they hate everything but their heads? Why weren't they just two voices yelling in the void at that point? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
man.
why?
That would have been interesting.
That would have been better than the shit we saw. I saw just two severed heads, just like bouncing around into
But wasn't
each
it
other.
so like crazy good editing? Like just two heads, but he did such a good job with just two heads.
I feel like you could do that in here.
No, I don't think I could do that at all. I don't have the talent.
Well, apparently it cost $4 million for that shit. Like, holy
That's probably
fuck,
where $1
dude.
million of the budget went for those two heads.
Yeah, because they had to pay people to feed them while they were making this bullshit, so that probably cost some money. And then the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the one thing that what I thought was weird was like these guys are like good friends in real life too. Like they did other things together before this.
Yeah, they're all everyone, the director and the actors.
so
They're all.
it's like you made a movie for yourself,
Mhm.
right? So why would you show anybody if it's for yourself?
What's the point of making a movie if you're not going to show people?
Why is the point of making a movie like this and showing it to people?
I thought it was a good. It was different. I think that's what I look for in some movies. Is I just want something that's different.
I do too. I want different, but I want it a good different, not different just for the sake of saying you were different. Like
Yeah,
if
but
it's,
you've never seen anything like this before.
yeah, and there's a reason for that shit. It's not entertaining, right? But like I said, man, I respect your opinion. You loved it. I gave it a watch, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got nothing that I really enjoyed about it too much.
Nothing
I liked
that-
the setup, man. That was it. I thought the
Really?
setup could have went somewhere. Even if they'd went to hell, if they'd have went to outer space, if they would have been into another dimension, you know what I mean? Anything. Even the concept of them being on an island that they could hate shit away or whatever.
I mean, it kind of was an island. It was their house sitting on
Oh
an
man,
island.
I'd rather look at water and shit than look at white. Like, I don't know. The whole thing was just kind of boring as fuck.
But it was so cool that he gave the.
You need some humor in there.
There was humor in there. I chuckled a lot at this movie.
I had a couple half chuckles, couple half chucks.
Well, I thought it was an interesting way of how he made the nothing have like a texture to it.
Right.
Like it bounced, it made a noise. Another thing I was going to say, the sound design on this thing is amazing. Like whenever they're bouncing, it just sounds like
I
it
think
could really be something.
Yeah,
He kind of gave the
they probably shot it in a bouncy house, dude. Like,
yeah, I think some of these shots were on a trampoline, it looked like. But
I mean, obviously, you
But it
know.
was so seamlessly like done that I didn't feel like it was a trampoline. I
Oh,
felt
see,
like it
I
was its
thought
own
they-
little world.
I thought they should have put more money into that shit.
Really?
Yeah, you could tell Michael Bay didn't shoot this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, that's the thing. I think he's a really good director in his own style, in his own way. Like nobody has his same style, and that's what I love about him.
I don't even think he has his own style,
Yes,
bro.
he does.
Because Cube and this were completely different, dude.
I don't think it was completely different. I mean, enough where you couldn't tell it was the same director, but at the same time you could because he does a lot of the same like tricks with the camera and stuff, and like the montage. He has the same kind of montage whenever they're going through the cube,
Yeah, but
which.
Cube was more suspenseful. I give a shit about what was happening. This,
Yeah.
it's like it was hard not to check out because like there was nothing going on, bro. Just them arguing with each other. Like,
But you have to admit, I mean, for me, it held my attention throughout the whole movie with just two characters and no scenery.
right?
Like, I didn't lose interest in this movie at all. Like, there was never a time where I just wanted to, and we were talking about Game of Death before this one.
Right.
Halfway through that movie, there's so much going on, but I checked out because it was so boring and so uninteresting. But
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's like it is. Like you found something of it, and at one point I found Game of Death interesting the whole way through. But obviously now being older, I know that I don't. But I don't know, man. Even in that shit movie, at least there's shit going on. People are getting fucked up, and people are getting kicked, and people are getting shot, and stuff like that. Like this one's just two dudes
Yeah.
going slowly insane.
Yeah.
for no reason.
I don't know. I found it entertaining. I liked it a lot. It really bums me out. You like hated it so much. Like, I thought this was going to be one of those movies that you found entertaining, and you're like, oh, I kind of liked it. I don't feel like we're going to argue about it.
There was the first pick you gave me, Enemy, even though I didn't enjoy the movie a lot. Like, there was certain aspects of it that I took from it that I enjoyed. This one, I didn't really like much.
Nothing from it at all.
Kind of makes me like not want to watch movies from Canada anymore. Once again, bro, what is it with you in Canada? Like,
I don't know. I didn't
Enemy
even
takes place in Canada. These guys are from fucking Canada. I think you just love Canadians. Bro.
I do. I need to just move to
You need
Canada.
to ask your parents. Were y'all Canadian secretly?
Probably.
Just snuck into America?
Yeah, I hope so. I'd much rather be Canadian.
Seth Green's Canadian.
Is he?
Oh, no, not Seth Green. Seth Rogen.
Oh, it's Seth Rogen, yeah.
No, I don't know where Seth Green's from.
Oh,
He's a good actor, though.
he is.
Funny guy. If they put him in this movie, it might have been funny. Nah. But you want my overall grade for it? What I rate it?
Yeah, what do you rate this movie?
Just like the title, bro. Nothing.
Damn.
Nothing to enjoy. Nothing to take away other than it takes $4 million to make a shit movie.
Yeah, if all you enjoy is like dumb action flicks that have like no story, then
That's not all I love.
Take Nick's opinion.
Oh yeah, well you love John Wick.
I do love John Wick.
Yeah, it's a great plot, right?
It's amazing.
Oh, it's just Keanu Reeves kicking ass for an hour and a half.
Hell, that's all I want from the movie. It's not like some stupid story. It's a very simple story executed so beautifully.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with having that and a story.
Yeah, but that's all you like.
That's not all I like. Not all I like. But that's an argument for another day, sir.
Yeah, definitely. I rate this movie as if you really enjoy indie films, if you enjoy something different, not the same old blockbuster movies, if you want something a little
franchise.
Yeah, if you want something a little just different, check this out. It was a really good time. Like the director did a lot with just two guys on a white screen, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, he made a movie. He made a movie. I mean, I can't take that from him. He shot an hour and a half movie with a white screen in a house and two dudes. He did that. Nobody can ever say he didn't do that. But I just didn't get much enjoyment out of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm glad that you like it. Like, that's good, and I respect your opinion always, bro. But it just wasn't for me, man.
True. And if you like this movie or you just want something else to watch, check out his other movie, Cube. It would have been on this list, but I made Nick watch this way before we even thought about this podcast, so I didn't put it on the list.
We might go revisit it at one point or another.
I would like to, because I really, really love that movie a lot.
Maybe I'll appreciate Cube more because this one was so bad. Don't shake your head, man. Tell me how you feel, dude. He's so bad right now, y'all.
I'm so
y'all
mad
can't
because
see
you
him.
keep
I
saying
can't.
how bad it is. It's not a bad movie. You just don't like it.
Well, and that's what we do this for, man. Because you have yours and I have mine, and that's why it's War with Cinema, bro.
Yeah.
And we don't ever ask for our listeners' opinions. If y'all listen to this and y'all decide to go watch this movie, please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me there's a whole layer of this I'm missing.
Yes, please.
And agree with Greg and tell him that I like dumb action and I don't care about nothing but franchises, which I love my franchises. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'll never say I don't love my franchises. But if you got a mind like Greg's and you find the beauty in this, please tell me how. Please show me, because I love learning.
Yeah.
I'm a slow learner, but I love it still.
Don't worry. You've insulted this movie a lot, and you're going to get your payback. So we have a movie in the future coming that's going to be in.
Yeah, I do want to thank you, bro. I appreciate you not shitting on Bruce Lee, even though I know it was very easy to shit on that movie. You were very cool about at least Bruce Lee's awesomeness. I do appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I did like the opportunity of being able to see.
I just wish I would have picked a different Bruce Lee movie, bro, because it still would have been a kung fu movie, and we had talked about that, about how once you get through with the kung fu, but I still think it would have been better than that, obviously, because it would have been him the whole time.
True, but you have another movie lined up for me.
Reindeer Games, your boy Ben Affleck, Batfleck, bro.
Yeah. This is a movie I've always wanted to watch, but I never got around to it. You say I love
cheesy action movies, man. Here's your cheesy action movie right here, my guy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, you're going to love this.
All right, on the next time we will be talking about Reindeer Games. See you then.
Hell yeah.